unity. Who doesn't want peace, love, and unity? You tell me. Dude, wake up. PowerShift. Dude, wake up. PowerShift. PowerShift 24 hours a day, free resources. Register now. www.cheginicounseling.com. Who doesn't want change at this point? Stand up. Be a man. Be a woman. Be the leader. Right now. Time is now. Peace out.
Poor leaders make today worse for everyone by using coercive power. Transactional leaders make today better by rewarding good performance. In contrast, transformational leaders are focused on making tomorrow better. They do this in 4 ways. Firstly, vision. Transformational leaders create a noble vision to work towards that inspires others. Secondly, authenticity. Transformational leaders are authentic in their commitment to the mission, not just to personal gain. Their integrity inspires the team to take action. Thirdly, a growth mindset. Transformational leaders cultivate their team's professional and personal development. They invest time and energy, knowing their effort will eventually bear fruit. And they recognize both an individual's effort as well as their performance. And finally, creativity. Transformational leaders encourage team members to develop ideas, work with flair, and embrace originality. They allow measured risks, which helps to foster a culture of innovation. In short, teams with transformational leaders are constantly being transformed for the better. To review, transformational leaders work towards a noble vision, act with authenticity and honesty, adopt a growth mindset, and promote creativity and new ideas. Download this HD video for free at www.betterbusinesslearning.com.
Are you ready to change the world, British Columbia? We Day is the most incredible event that and it happens every year here in Vancouver. Free the Children put it on, and they put it on as a way to inspire and remind kids that they have it in their power as individuals to make a difference in the world. And, you know, it's not just kids that need to be reminded of that. It's all of us that need to be reminded of that, I think. But, you know, it's kids who really can make that difference, I think, who are willing to step up and make the difference. And so it's just so incredible to see this youth-led organization inspiring youth to make a real difference every day. One of the things that I was trying to get across to the young people there today was that there are examples out there, large and small, where you can make a difference. So, you know, you look at someone like Terry Fox, he made a huge difference. He took on a huge task that most of us would never, ever have even thought about taking on. But, you know, there are many smaller things that we can do every single day to make a real difference. So you don't have to decide you're going to go cure cancer. You just have to decide you're going to stand up for that vulnerable person who's getting bullied. You just have to be the one that's going to be there and step in and protect the little guy. Each one of us has the chance to do that every day in our lives. That is the message of We Day, that, you know, we all have a chance to make a change. We just have to decide that we want to do it.
We choose to go to the moon because that challenge is one we intend to win.
Leadership is the capacity to obviously engage and inspire, but also the capacity to have a sense of purpose.
It's all about how do you invent and reinvent yourself and invent and reinvent the contribution you want to make to society.
It entails someone who's willing to actually move forward and to move with the interests of the people. But that takes a person who is able to really listen and understand.
We absolutely need global leaders who have a systemic view of global affairs. The Forum, precisely for this purpose, has created the program for Global Leadership Fellows.
It's a unique 3-year journey of leadership development which combines working at the forum with top-class academics.
That leads to a Master of Leadership. This is the opportunity to educate future global leaders for all kinds of organizations and situations. Taking them out of their comfort zone, not only because they are outside, but also because you're in a very different location, where they will have a training that comes to how do others influence you as a leader.
These are people from around the world, highly skilled from different sectors. It's a unique experience that I'll never forget.
The big thing with this program is the exploration of the personal, looking at ways in which we can challenge ourselves to be better people and better leaders as well.
In addition, they have a specific curriculum with various schools, and I think that's a very nice mix and an unusual mix. It's a program that allows people to have a hands-on experience in dealing with leaders themselves.
This is an incredibly diverse group of people, and then you have this wonderful umbrella of the World Economic Forum with all of its networks, all of its channels.
They really have the potential to be great leaders, and we all know the world desperately needs that.
They come out being thought leaders, great organizational leaders, and knowing themselves as leaders.
Hello dear friends, welcome to this episode. So I wanted to talk to you about what I mean by PowerShift 24. Now that it's 11 a.m., it's really important to understand that today is the day of unity actually around the world. It's a point where people are all coming together on the higher consciousness and they're uniting amongst their differences. So when I say 11/11, it means the whole universe is coming together on this day to be connected as a collective body. As you know, it is of utmost importance to be taking this power shift seriously. This means that you come back to humanity. This means that you start thinking for yourselves and you start tapping into what is meant by being a human. Human evolution is quite interesting. The evolution of humanity has two folds. One is the individual thinking for him or herself. In psychoanalytic terms, we would call it the ego. And one would be thinking of the greater good, the human collectiveness, the collective consciousness. This is how we survive. So throughout the many years of evolution and coming to terms with really survival of the fittest, as Darwin stated, humans made it by default of working together in a collective means with love as one of the forms, with discipline, with morality, with nutrition, with proper food and parenting and proper family dynamics. But the cornerstone of being a human and being able to evolve with humanity was working together through the love vibration, not the fear vibration. There is nothing to fear when you're rooted in goodness. As humans with a conscience, with a consciousness, thinking about their actions, being in tune with their behaviors and their thought processes, and at all times remembering the whole point of humanity is to help each other grow. So by helping one person, you grow in exponential ways. It's the philosophy of altruism, the psychology of altruistic behavior. And a leader by default in the 21st century has come to terms with the fact that we are not alone in the universe. And throughout the whole world, individuals that are collecting on the collective consciousness, meaning that they're tapping into truth and humanity and logic, and coming back to this notion of peace from inner divinity, meaning that you seek peace within, and that no amount of money can do this for you. This is what we call self-actualization in psychological terms. Psychologically speaking, it's of utmost importance that you get to know yourself. Know thyself and love others. Love yourself because you are rooted in goodness. You are rooted in morality. You have come to terms with what makes you you, which is original love of the Creator. The energy that has created all creatures, the nature, the natural order, the animals, the insects, the mammals, the reptiles, the fish. We use nature in therapy, nature therapy, green therapy. We utilize and we do not abuse. We never abuse anything. We use productively all the wonders that are in our cosmos to develop our body into a healthy, functioning human, and then to give back. To give back to the wonders that exist in Earth, Mother Earth, and to help create harmony in everything that we do. Harmony within, harmony external. Harmony that comes from mind-body essence union, that we have stepped outside of our daily mundane worlds, that we have started looking at numero uno, and number one will always be you and your connection to the universe. That is the universal energy. This is step one of being a productive, awakened leader in the 21st century. That you step away from the stressors of the material world and you look inward, meaning you meditate wholly, you open up your third eye, and you release all the negative stressors and all the fears and negativity that you have accumulated over the years. Even if you're 10 years old, it does not matter what age you are. We are all on a continuous cycle of growth and transformation. We are all pursuing a ladder of health and wellness. We are all awakening our love and peace and universal home within to external. Peace is not something that you can go by. No university will have a peace course. This initiative of mine to have a thing called PowerShift 24 means that 24 hours a day you can log on and watch these episodes over and over again and take notes, dear friends. I urge you to step outside your comfort zone, grab a notebook, a binder of some sort, and start taking notes as to when we talk about vitality, harmony, what I mean by power. Power and taking matters in your own hands is something that you need to do as a leader in the 21st century. If you're stuck in an occupation or in a position that you are not fulfilling your destiny, meaning your mission in this life, I urge you that at this point you start doing so. You start thinking again and coming back to the drawing board. Peace, love, health, unity, vision, hope. These are the values that you need as a leader in the 21st century. Okay? So you need to start doing the things that make you feel good on a vibration, that make you feel proud and peaceful and harmonious and truthful and honest. You need to start doing the things that you know are in the right path. The path of honesty, the path of teamwork and leadership, the path of true harmony and humanity. If you're doing the things that we would call negative, meaning fear vibration, you will never be able to be a proper leader, and your money will go down the drain the second a hurricane hits. Just like Hurricane Sandy and all the natural disasters that are accumulating due to Earth's electromagnetic shift, and due to the fact that we can no longer predict or even control what is going to happen with these natural disasters and whatnot. So it is time that you awaken and you seek your leader within. It is the philosophy of PowerShift 24 and all that I do that all individuals, regardless of age, ethnicity, religion, gender, sex, disability, disease, or life experience, are entitled to respect, love, health, happiness, peace, tranquility, unity, strength, vision, and acceptance. So I would like you to pause this and replay it and take notes. So now that you know that this is on 24 hours a day, PowerShift 24, and that my whole mission is to have this universal university online for you to awaken the leader within, it's up to you to be taking the notes, to be pausing and writing this down. Why do I say write it down? If there is a power failure, or the computer goes out and you do not have access to YouTube or my website, you have your own notes written in a notebook that you can keep with you wherever you are, despite an electric outage or despite me physically being anywhere near you. This will bring you your books and your leadership notes wherever you are in the world, despite any sort of power outage that we cannot communicate technology-wise. Because as you know, technology is a blessing if we use it productively, not deconstructively. It is the vision of PowerShift 24 that this leadership program will be a vehicle for fast-acting change. As the catalyst for positive change, your transition into a higher, peaceful, stronger, connected, unified, light, loving, harmonious, and courageous new you will unfold through inner joy, peace, love, hope, faith, and all the beauty that awaits through the light. One love, one universe, one people, one law, unify of the mind, body, and spirit. A leader has come to terms with who him or her are from within to the external world. Even if you're right now working underneath someone, or you're a student, for example, in a classroom that is very negative and deconstructive, it does not mean that you cannot be a leader. You step up, you stand up for what you know is right, and you say what you have to say, but you say it properly. You say it with morals, you say it with ethics, you say it with grace and fluidity. You actually say all that relies in your mind with love. Because the power of love, that's something that nobody can take away. So even if they try to fire you or not hire you or give you an F for a grade, they cannot take away the fact that you can just turn around and go somewhere else and get your yes somewhere else. Just because you haven't found that place or that role in your universe, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means that you haven't found the door. When one door closes, as you know, 10 doors open. So these are all a part of the awakening process for you. Wherever you are in the world and you are stuck in a rut, that's what I call it, and you are tired of status quo and you know that there's something better, well, I'm here to tell you that there is. You stick your eyes on the ball and you keep your eyes on your ball, meaning your mission, your goal, your vision, despite age or culture or race, and you be the leader that you know you are. Every human on this earth is a leader. If you haven't found your role, that's because you're not taking the time to meditate. If you are practicing a faith, it's prayer. If you're not practicing a faith, which is one of the reasons, psychologically speaking, that a lot of humans are having depression, anxiety, suicide ideation, drug addiction, alcoholism, is because they don't have morality. So they don't have a place where they call home, they don't have a community, they don't have a faith, they don't believe in anything. So when you don't believe in anything, you lose track of your ethics, your morality, and your conscience. So I'm here to remind you that a leader has that, has a sound understanding of the universal cosmos, and has come to terms with this question, this existential question of who am I and where did I come from? So you must begin jotting these notes down and starting your journey of where you belong in the universal plane. And I'm here to tell you that there is an energy source and there is a power that is beyond humanity that we cannot comprehend. That is something above us that has created all creatures. Now, we can call it energy for the purposes of simplicity at this point. There is a vibration, there is something that created something, and this something you need to come to get to know for yourself. This is a solo journey where you attune yourself to what really created you, and that is a pillar of coming to terms with leadership. As you do this, you will unfold into courageousness and confidence, self-acceptance, and what we would call powerful leader. because you know that you are on the right path. When you are on the right path, when you have all these little components connected to the bigger picture, meaning like a big canvas, where you have the little pieces of this art puzzle together, united, you will start feeling more confident, you will start feeling more happy and excited and energetically activated, and you will feel the health and healing begin from within. Healing happens not by medicine, as you know. Healing happens by virtue of your thoughts and your body being attuned. Festinger, one of our really prominent psychologists, put it together like this, that cognitive dissonance theory is the cause for all illness. So when your cognitions are not matched with your behaviors, meaning your thoughts and your behaviors are not matched, you will develop stress levels, dissonance, which he calls. Increased stress levels decrease immune system. Immune system is a system that protects you from illness and health-related disease. Increased stress levels will decrease your healthy hormones and let in a lot of cancers and diseases of all sorts. So this is important when you step into leadership modality. You do not need to wait any longer. A leader takes care of the stress levels and meditates or prayers. For example, in the Islamic faith, they pray maybe 5 times a day, up to 5 times a day, unless they join the prayers. So myself, when I go and I want to go in a state of whole health and wellness, it's either through meditations and prayers. It's both. So why not be connected at all times to that state of calm? In science, we call it homeostasis. Homeostasis means that you're balanced. You're not highly activated and you're not low activated. You're at the optimal level of motivation and functioning, because if you're too stressed, it's deconstructive and you can't function properly. All you're doing is really a whole bunch of nonsense, and you're increasing your chances of developing a disease, and which we want to prevent as a leader. When you're not motivated enough, you become bored. So boredom is a funny ratio, where if you're either too challenged with not enough strategies and skill level, you won't be able to do the job. And if you're not challenged enough, for example, if you're a student right now and you feel like your teachers think you're dumb and you're not being challenged enough, you might feel bored in class, and that's when you take out your iPhone and you start texting people. If you're an adult and you're at work and you're tapping your fingers all the time or biting your nails and you're severely anxious at work, it's because you're not challenged enough and you could be doing something else. You're not following your life plan. So I'm here to tell you that the reason why people lose motivation and begin to feel ADHD or unfocused or disaster at work or writing notes and not being able to pass the grade is because you're not being adequately challenged enough and you're not in your life plan. So you need to follow your instincts. If it means change your school, change your school. If it means change your degree, change your degree. If it means change your city, you change your city and you go to a different place. You go to a different university, you find another yes. My first year TA, Rizzo, he always said this to us. He said, if somebody says no to you, you turn around and you find your yes somewhere else. It doesn't mean that no means no. It just means you haven't found your team yet. And that's up to you. Education is the process for transformation. Education is power. Real power comes with intellect. Seek truth in everything you do. Seek inner divinity and inner power with all that makes you and all that is and all that could truly be. We want to harbor the power within our hearts, within our bodies, within our minds. The power comes with knowledge. Knowledge brings you enlightenment. Without the facts, you'll be stuck in fear. Fear modality, racism, discrimination is all hindering, that means stopping, hindering your personal growth and achievement, and stopping you from achieving true happiness. We preach what we teach. As PowerShift 24 leaders in training, you need to stop doing what you were doing before, because clearly with the depression rates, with the suicide rates, with the alcohol rates, the divorce rates, the murders, the abuse, all of the negative that we have seen, the failure of the school system because of the dropout rate. These are facts. The cancers, the genetically modified organics, all the natural issues that we have now come to forget, of charities and giving back to the community and taking care of love and feeling love for yourself. The time is now that you stop what you were doing before and you start what we call your internal clock, your internal humanity, and you look within. Exploration of different religions. For example, if you were a strict Orthodox purple person, we'll call it, and that faith did not help you achieve love and happiness, I would urge you to start looking elsewhere. You could start exploring the books, you could start exploring the question of existentialism, and you're not stuck in what we call ignorance, okay? Do not believe that all people from a certain faith are, for example, this or terrorists or that. These are media. This is why I call it media literacy. You need to start thinking before you believe things. Who is telling you what? And what is the point of what they are telling you? This is a critical thinker. Humans have cognition. Humans are higher than other animals, not because of any other reason but higher consciousness. We don't have fangs or claws like a lion. We can't protect ourselves from the attack of a lion. One-on-one, a human is attackless. We have no weapons naturally. We have the weapon of our mind, our thought, our creativity, and our conscious connection to the universe by having a miniature universe within us. So having strategic thinking is something that you might have been deprived in the 21st century, especially in the Western world, due to GMOs and the pollution and chemtrails and all the things that have slowed your process down. That means de-evolution. When you look at human evolution, we had a peak. You know, we had the Dark Ages in the 14th century, the Golden Ages, the Renaissance, the Rebirth, the Enlightenment, and then we had the industrialization come, in which people de-evolved. So if we were towards a golden age and we were going somewhere higher and better with humanity, we de-evolved by virtue of the industrialization. And then hence the digital era with the GMOs and whatnot. The truth of the matter is that humans are leaders, all of us. All of us are born with a mission. And if you're not doing your career, your job, your mission, that is when you feel depression. Depression is not a disease. Too often I have clients coming to me and saying that they were diagnosed with a disease and that they were cured from the disease. And I said, what is this disease? And they say depression. Well, I say numero uno is that depression is not a disease. Depression is a sickness of the mind, and it's just like if, for example, you have stomach flu. Is a sickness of the stomach, for example, the stomach flu. The depression is a sickness of the mind, and it happens by virtue of depletion of healthy hormones. No more endorphin release. Endorphins are the happy hormones that we release. No more adequate serotonin or the natural neurotransmitters because you're not doing the things that make you happy. So you could be stuck in an unsatisfied job, you could be stuck in an unsatisfied family environment, you could be stuck with a lot of negativity from past experiences that you did not release properly, you didn't come to forgive, you didn't come to love and to accept. You kept these grudges, these negative feelings of competition, jealousy, hate, anger, and you were trying to buy love and peace. Depression occurs at that point, when you hit the wall. So I always say to my clients is when you hit the wall is when you finally understand that you're going the wrong way. So what do we do when we feel depressed? We do not pop a pill. The pill will make you sicker. It increases suicide percentage by 60%. So if you are now taking Zoloft or any sort of medicine, at this point in time in humanity, you need to start looking inward and figuring out that these medicines do not heal you. They might give you a quick fix. That means 5 minutes or 10 minutes if you're not that connected to it. But they will not heal you. Healing comes from within, when you find your role in the universe and when you find God in your own existence. God is with you when you are with God. So when you pick or choose the power shift, meaning you're controlling the car, you're driving the car, and you're not letting stress or negativity of the material world stray you from your path. You pick the path, and you pick the path of love. Everything will start fading away. All the negative stressors will fade away, but that is the power that you have in your control that has nothing to do with money or someone giving you a degree. A leader has harbored their inner power through the law of attraction. So having the vibration, the law of attraction by Rhonda Byrne, the book Secret. Anthony Robbins has been doing this for maybe 10 years now, has taken humanity to the next level. The law of attraction means that by virtue of what's in the thoughts and the intentions of the heart, so we call it the mind and the body connect, we harbor and manifest our realities. We are co-creators of all that is and all that truly could be. We are not passive in this pursuit. We have free will. The question of predetermination and free will for a leader is that you might have been given luck, like a luck of a draw that you got the job, or you were headhunted, for example, and you didn't even know there was something like this job, and you have free will to be a positive leader. If you choose not to be the positive leader, that was your choice. But yes, there might have been some element of luck. Reverse, if you have bad luck, this could have been a part of your plan, because challenge brings change. Challenge brings adequate change. The best leaders have been down and back, have made it through thick and thin, have been tested and retested and tested and tested and tested and tested until they graduate to leadership. The best leaders had it hard. The best leaders had to hold on to their faith in the face of disasters, had to stand up to be the solution when there was a midst of problems. The best leaders, we could say, were those individuals that had to come from the grassroots. They were not given a degree easily. They were not given money easily. They worked, because that was the test of their life. Those tests that they productively passed, they kept on their path, they graduated these tests, and they proved by their actions. Those are the leaders of the 21st century. So as far as I see it, you got two choices. PowerShift 24 means you take the power into your own hands. You start writing your life history. So step 1, get to know thyself. You do those universal mind meditations I have on my website. So if you go on my YouTube channel, Mahnaz Chegini, so you go on YouTube, you put Mahnaz Chegini in the search, you'll see all of them. It says begin now. The one I want you to do now is called Universal Mind Meditation. It's about an hour and 40 minutes. All you do is press play and sleep. I'm not asking you to step on your heads like a yoga guru. I'm asking you to just press play, take notes, and start searching within. It's as easy as 3, 2, 1. 3, stepping outside of the body. 2, getting to know the mind. 1, connecting with your essence, your soul purpose. What is your purpose? And that is a step for self-actualization. This comes all down to the model that I have created called the Transformational Theoretical Approach. So Transformational Theoretical Approach to psychotherapy is exactly what we're doing now. It's hands-on, solution focused, moving you to the next level. Psychotherapy is essential to get to know the mind. We get to know the mind, we release the inner power, we harbor what we call consciousness and collective consciousness, and we connect on the human level. Human psychology, it's called humanistic psychology. Adler was the guru for this, 1950s, and he came up with individual psychology, humanistic psychology, and he looked at the whole life as the growth of an individual, not just what Freud said at 13. So we start now. Get to know yourself, get to know others. Take this lecture and replay it, pause it, rewind, and take notes, especially when it came to my vision for this program. I'm going to finish this off like this. The value-driven vision of PowerShift 24, which is at the heart of everything that we do here in this collective consciousness. Honesty, love, peace, harmony, faith, unity, empowerment, connectedness, teamwork, synergy, resiliency, healing, energy balance, relaxation, rejuvenation, inner strength, mindfulness training, purity, transformation, and growth. So these are the visions and the mission of me, Mahnaz Chegini, for Transformational Theoretical Approach, in specific PowerShift 24. Is also the same for all my programs. So PowerShift 24 is the lecture series of the Universal University. Fiesta Flow Fitness Glow was the physical exertion, so the biological active motion, because a leader needs to be fit, meaning you're exercising, you're eating properly, you're sleeping properly, and you're releasing the energy. So Fiesta Flow Fitness, you'll see those movies all online. Those are free for you. If you can donate, wonderful. If you can sponsor, even better. If you can purchase a membership, great. But it's not the reason. The reason is because this is my mission. My mission is to help promote health and wellness wherever we go. So you need to be doing the biological awakening, which is the meditations and the exercise component in your own home. Sociological approach is getting to know the society you live in and making that power shift where you find your role in it and you start learning for yourself and you start learning the real tricks of the game of how to make it in this world. It's not about being compliant or placid or copy and pasting. It's about creating meaning in everything you do, creating true knowledge and wisdom through love, acceptance, and creativity. Humans were born to be creative. And for example, you know, all the wonderful leaders we've had in every field, they got this. It's the power of the secret, okay? The secret is that the law of attraction works every time. Just because you don't get it doesn't mean it's not working. That we harbor our co-create our manifested physical realities by virtue of our intention and our thoughts. So if you have good intentions, you'll see goodness. If you have negative intentions, you'll see negatives. Heaven on earth is here, and we are creating our heaven, or the reverse is up to you as a leader. Good. I want you to celebrate your energy in everything that you do. Honor and celebrate your uniqueness. Gain confidence, fluidity, strength, power. Use music as a vehicle. Music for releasing the negative emotions. And I want you to use positive music, not negative. Music that has positive messages. The transformation process is for humanity to reconnect with nature's wisdom, the law of life, that we may find balance, harmony, and life-affirming paths for the evolution of humans, because we're at the seat of evolution, meaning that you're either going to make it or not. And if you're going to make it, the survival of the fittest is because you are on the love vibration, and that is the truth. If you're in stress, if you're in fear, as I've explained, stress kills. Stress will cause you to have a depletion of healthy hormones and an increase of negativity, which will increase your heart rate and all the other diseases that we're going to be covering. This activity has clear goals and direct feedback. So I will be giving you direct feedback on your assignments that you email me. Just make sure you've registered. You've either purchased the 188 membership or the 88 membership, so I can continue with the work on the other side, and that I can answer all your questions. So you can email me certain questions, and I will deliver the question answers via university style. So we will be blogging on the website, and I will continue to answer the questions that come up through this medium. So in general, we have a TA kind of style movement where we can get other specialists to come in and talk about certain things, okay? So for today, I've already spoken for half an hour and I don't want to talk more. I want you to replay this. So I want you to pause and replay and take notes. So this is how a school is taught. The lecturer talks, the student takes notes, and I want you to do it with a pen and a paper. Why pen and paper? As I said, if your computer goes out, if there is a hurricane and the power is out, you are protecting your notes and you have what it takes to make it through the dark. So when all else fails and phones don't work and the computer is not there, you have your notes that are going to help you make it towards the new year. All right, dear friends, so for today, I think it was enough to put on you. I'm sorry we have so many topics to discuss, but PowerShift 24 means that we tackle one thing at a time, but today's was more of an intro kind of thing, and an intro session is always a little bombarded with flow theory things, and I want to leave with what peace means, to me anyways. Peace is a noun-verb interjection, often described as harmonious, blissful, joyful, comforting, tranquil, calm, hopeful, balanced, serene, loving, spiritual, inspirational, pure, good, uplifting, quiet, kind, friendly, clear, still, heavenly, sublime, soothing, relaxing, restful, beautiful. And I want you to take that as what it is. Peace is a state of being. Peace is a state of love. And it's time, it's now or never really, make the shift. Peace out.
Steve Jobs once said, "Innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower." So what exactly does it take to be a good leader? Many think leaders get others to do all the work, or that leadership is a trait only certain individuals possess. But in reality, anyone can be a leader. What is leadership? The traits of a leader can be defined in many ways. The main characteristics are communication, sharing goals, and adaptable to changing circumstances within the group. Leadership is the influence, which is the use of interpersonal power to motivate others to actively participate and communicate. Leadership is being a person who applies interpersonal influence on a group to achieve its set goals. When Steve Jobs had his small team to design the original Macintosh, his command was to make it insanely great, he said. Don't worry about the price, specify the computer's abilities, and don't compromise. By driving his team not to compromise, he kept his eye on the original goal until he conquered it. There are 5 sources of interpersonal power according to Bertram Raven and John French. Reward, referent, information, expertise, and ecological are the identified interpersonal powers. Group leaders usually have an influence beginning with more than one of these powers. Reward power is someone's ability to give others a wanted value, and the punishment side of it comes from the ability to also take it away. Praise and encouragement have a large influence of power. The intangible side would be frowning or ignoring someone. Coercion is a form of punishment involving threatening a group member in order to comply. Expertise is a power I think we're all familiar with. This is an individual with impeccable knowledge or skill that is valuable to the group. Although having this power does not always guarantee that a member will be the leader. Steve Jobs believes that deciding what not to do is just as important as deciding what to do. Having expertise will allow you to choose your resources wisely and carefully. A referent power is someone we admire or strive to be like. Sometimes we set a role model for ourselves and work towards being similar to that person. As social beings, we long for people to like us back. When we want to be like someone else, it gives them tremendous power over us. We will often do what that person is asking of us, even if we know it is wrong, strictly to gain their liking. The information power involves the amount of control a leader has over certain information. This can consist of the amount of access other group members have to information, giving the leader what the most access to information, the appearance of expertise. By allowing group members controlled information, they build a dependence on the leader for his or her information. The way the leader distributes the information to the members allows him the control over how they also interpret this information. The last power is the ecological power. This is the indirect influence initiating from the ability to control the organization and environment of the group. We don't always notice how our surroundings affect the outcome of our work and behavior. The first thing a good leader does is it establishes goals and makes sure the group starts in the right direction. In order to have an effective group, all members must understand and support the goals of the group. Otherwise, it may be necessary for the leader to make the decision to remove them. Employees were recruited to Apple as specialists, and Jobs put them into groups according to their specific strengths and abilities. He was a strong supporter of his visions that he had and was greatly effective in communicating his ideas with his staff. Jobs mentioned, "It takes a lot of hard work to make something simple, to truly understand the underlying challenges and come up with elegant solutions." His goal was to always focus on the products as your main motivation, and the profits will follow. Secondly, leaders need to form the members into groups to guarantee an environment for conducive teamwork. The entire Pixar building was designed for the interaction of the staff. Jobs encouraged the communication because he thought that without it you would lose the innovation that derives from interaction and getting out of the office. Effective leaders monitor this behavior and make sure it's collaborative and group members can feel confident speaking out and sharing their ideas. Thirdly, group leaders always keep their goals in mind and motivate the group to work towards them. Steve Jobs stated, "People join and stay because they believe in the mission of the company, even if they aren't personally happy." That is the foundation of a powerful group. Jobs is known for his gruff mannerisms, but his innate talent for envisioning and delivering breakthrough products and his natural gift for complete focus are what made him successful. He would take his top 100 employees on a retreat each year and ask them, "What 10 things should we be doing next? We can only do 3. By maintaining a focus on 3 products, he was able to keep his goals in mind about making great products for his customers instead of creating numerous mediocre products. Despite how impatient and tough Jobs was on the people around him, he was brutally honest and drove his employees to achieve perfection. Fourthly, a good leader helps members develop their talents and build confidence within the team. Steve Jobs always challenged his teams to reach beyond what they thought was impossible. Sure, Jobs could have possibly achieved the same results by approaching his team differently, but that wasn't who he was. Those who have worked with him admitted that it led them to perform on an extraordinary level, even though working with him could be exasperating. Lastly, a good leader does not take their position for granted. They consistently work at becoming a better leader. After starting the company from scratch in 1985 after going bankrupt, taught Jobs discipline and patience. Jobs' leadership style was quite complex. He was focused when he was committed to something, he was confident in taking risks, and his charismatic ways helped him bring his employees and customers along with him in his own ambitious journey. Dr. Brent Coker from the University of Melbourne's Management and Marketing faculty described him as one of the greatest business strategics of all times. Whether a person is assigned leadership or emerges from the same status and becomes a leader, how you manage your team and drive them to a goal is how you become a great leader. As Steve Jobs said, "Stay hungry, stay foolish."
As First Lady, no woman shaped America's image more than Eleanor Roosevelt. The 12-year First Lady was anointed America's greatest First Lady by President Truman during his first term. Eleanor Roosevelt was extremely influential during her husband Franklin Delano's presidency and continued her political life after his death. Eleanor is often credited as the conscience behind the New Deal during the Depression. She was outspoken in the public circles, but her opinions were criticized by those who wanted to reduce the First Lady to a figurehead role, the proper place for the president's wife. She found pressure from all sides for her to put herself in a confined role, but continued to try to find her own niche. She quickly became a voice for women in the public, refusing to speak off record to reporters on political issues and creating a public forum for women to debate. She continued to be a champion for women's rights as she had been during the suffrage movement. She refused Secret Service and was a champion for poverty. She worked especially hard on relief for coal miners and jobs for the youth. Eleanor was also a strong player in the civil rights movement by having an all-African-American staff in the White House. She convinced her husband to address the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People in 1936, the first president to do so. Her public actions helped advance the cause, including moving a chair into the middle of an aisle to protest a segregated auditorium in Alabama. She had her reservations about entering the White House as the First Lady, but used the title to advance her causes after her husband's death in 1945. She was the U.S. delegate to the United Nations as head of the Human Rights Committee. She helped draft the 1948 Declaration of Human Rights and demanded a change to the phrase, "all men are created equal" to "all human beings are created equal" in the document. She's considered the greatest First Lady of all time and one of the greatest role models in American history.
Hey, here's a text message from Ms. Garish about our Team Wiki assignments.
Oh, I completely forgot about
What?
that.
Oh, I was just listening to that book Mr. G recommended and helped me download when I went to the library.
What book?
The Hunger Games. It's so good.
Oh, cool. Hey, I have an hour before basketball practice starts and I wanted to get started on that Team Wiki assignment. Do you guys want to go to the library?
Sure. I have to go to Mr. G's Google Club at 4:30 anyways, so I guess that's perfect.
I didn't know Mr. G did a Google Club. Can I sit in today?
Sure.
I wish I could skip basketball practice.
I know most of you are almost finished with our staff study book, Differentiated Instruction. Now we're ready for the next step. I'm going to turn it over to Phil and he's going to give us a 21st century take on what we do.
Thank you, Becky. So for the book that you've been reading, you remember that you were supposed to take one key insight or learning and integrate it into your lesson planning for next week. Well, to report that out, we're going to do that a little bit more interactively. We're going to use a blog, and I know some of you used a blog before and others of you haven't, but don't worry if you haven't. We're going to teach you everything you need to know to access the blog, to comment on it, and then post your blog entry on there as well. So to get to the blog, you're going to go straight to the link I put on the library website.
How embarrassing.
Who knew teachers even knew about blogging? I mean, I have a teacher that can't even turn on the document camera.
I know, right? At least we have people like Miss Garish.
Yeah, and Mr. G too, with that assignment that he showed us this morning in Miss Garish's class.
And he showed me how to download this book to my iPod.
Yeah, and he was showing all those other teachers about blogging.
I guess librarians are more with it than I thought.
And have you seen Mr. G's Facebook page? He has like 1,000 friends.
Wow.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I should friend him.
The school librarian is viewed universally by the school as an instructional leader and serves as chair of committees that support instructional school goals.
Thinking outside the box, our librarian rocks!
Leadership means influencing others to work willingly toward achieving objectives. What makes leadership a challenging concept is understanding a variety of theories and translating them into skills through application and practice. Managing means planning, leading, organizing, and controlling the work of others so the company's aims are achieved. but without influence and inspiration, planning and organizing will be futile. On the other hand, no matter how inspirational a person may be, management skills are essential. The first step to leadership is to identify what is happening, that is, to detect areas of interest that compel you to use leadership to resolve a problem. You can account for what is happening by using behavior science theories and concepts to understand why the issues you identified are occurring. The next step is to determine appropriate actions based on your knowledge of how to motivate employees and how to resolve and manage intergroup conflicts. Leaders with the power and personal traits to be effective in a leadership situation can lead by taking 4 sets of actions, providing a vision, thinking like a leader, using the right leadership style, using organizational behavior leadership skills. We have discussed thinking like a leader, now let's turn to providing a vision. A leader must provide a direction that his or her followers can work toward. Sometimes a vision is required, a general statement of the organization's intended direction that evokes positive emotional feelings in its members. A vision is especially important in today's volatile business environment. A mission statement defines and operationalizes the vision of top management. It broadly outlines the organization's future course and communicates who we are, what we do, and where we are headed. The leader may have to provide objectives, specific results that he or she wants the group to achieve. The roles of leader and manager converge in setting a direction with a vision, mission, or goal. Planning is the first management function, but by providing direction, a manager becomes a leader. Psychologists Kirkpatrick and Locke say that power and personal traits are 2 leadership fundamentals. Leaders must have the personality traits to do the job. The trait theory of leadership asserts that leaders have the following traits. Leaders have drive. They are action-oriented with a high desire for leadership and achievement. They get satisfaction from completing challenging tasks and attaining excellence. If people cannot trust their leader, they will not follow. So honesty and integrity are important. Self-confidence plays an important role in decision-making and gaining the trust of others. A leader has cognitive ability. A leader must pick the right direction and then put into place the mechanisms required to get there. A leader's intelligence and subordinates' perception of his or her intelligence are highly rated leadership traits. Leaders have business knowledge, that is, they are extremely knowledgeable about their company and industry. As a result, they make good decisions and understand the implications of those decisions. The following are the sources of a leader's power. A leader's authority most commonly stems from the position to which he or she is appointed, and the power to reward or punish individuals. An authority in his or her field has expert power, and others do what is asked of them out of respect. Referent power is based on personal magnetism and charisma. Leader behavior researchers have propounded theories about the relationship between a leader's style and his or her effectiveness as a leader. 2 points can be made about these theories. First, they all focus on what leaders do and how they behave while trying to influence followers. Second, the assumption underlying all the behavioral leadership theories is that leaders perform 2 basic functions: accomplishing the task and satisfying the needs of group members. The functions of a task-oriented leader are to clarify the jobs to be done and force people to focus on their jobs. The roles of a people-oriented leader are to reduce tension, make the job more pleasant, boost morale, and crystallize and defend the values, attitudes, and beliefs of the group. Most experts believe that the task and people dimensions of leadership are not mutually exclusive. A survey called the Leader Behavior Description Questionnaire (LBDQ) was developed at Ohio State University. It measured 2 leadership factors: the Ohio State dimensions of leadership, initiating structure and consideration. Leadership behavior indicative of mutual trust, friendship, support, respect, and warmth is called consideration. Leadership behavior which organizes work to be done, defines relationships or roles, and develops channels of communication for getting the job done is called initiating structure. 2 leadership styles stem from the basic people and task leader dimensions. Faced with the need to make a decision, an autocratic leader solves the problem and makes the decision, using the information available at the time. In contrast, a participative leader shares the problem with his or her subordinates as a group, and together they generate and evaluate alternatives while attempting to reach a consensus on a solution. Two leadership theories emerged from the University of Michigan studies. Rensis Likert and his associates identified two leadership styles. Employee-oriented leaders focus on the individuality and personality needs of their employees, and emphasize building good interpersonal relationships. Job-centered leaders focus on production and the job's technical aspects. Likert concluded that supervisors with the best performance records focus their primary attention on the human aspects of their subordinates' problems, and on endeavoring to build effective work groups with high-performance goals. Other University of Michigan researchers focused on close and general leadership styles. Close supervision is at one end of a continuum that describes the degree to which a supervisor specifies the roles of subordinates and checks up to see that they comply with these specifications. The laissez-faire leader who takes a hands-off approach with subordinates is at the other extreme. A general leader is somewhere in the middle of the continuum. Transactional leaders are oriented toward accomplishing the tasks at hand and maintaining good relations with the work group. They exert influence during daily leader-subordinate exchanges to achieve routine performance. Transformational leadership refers to the process of influencing major changes in the attitudes and assumptions of organizational members and building commitment for the organization's mission, objectives, and strategies. Transformational leaders broaden and elevate the interests of their followers, generate awareness and acceptance of the purposes and mission of the group, and stir their followers to look beyond their own self-interests for the good of others. Transformational leaders encourage and obtain performance beyond expectations by formulating visions, and then inspiring followers to pursue them. From the vantage point of the followers, transformational leaders have the following characteristics. Transformational leaders are charismatic. Employees often idolize them and develop strong emotional attachments to them. Transformational leaders are inspirational. They passionately communicate a future idealistic organization that can be shared and use visionary explanations to depict what employees can accomplish. The inspired employees are then motivated to achieve these organizational aims. Transformational leaders exhibit individual consideration by treating each employee as a unique individual and stressing their personal development. Transformational leaders use intellectual stimulation to encourage employees to approach old and familiar problems in new ways. As a result, employees question their own beliefs and develop creative problem-solving techniques. Although the number of women in management jobs has risen to almost 40%, only 2% of top management jobs are held by women. Research suggests that this disparity is caused not by an inability of women to lead but by institutional biases, such as the glass ceiling and stereotypes. So while there are a few differences in the way men and women lead, they do not account for the slowed career progress of most women managers. Managers tend to identify masculine competitive characteristics as managerial and feminine cooperative and communicative characteristics as non-managerial. Some managers believe that women tend to fall apart under pressure, but this view has not been supported by research. Such stereotypes inhibit the movement of women into top management. Studies suggest few measurable differences in the leader behaviors of men and women. Women managers were found to be somewhat more achievement-oriented and understanding, while men were more candid. But women and men who score high on the need for power tend to behave like each other. In terms of performance, male and female managers in similar positions receive similar ratings, and the same is true of business simulations at assessment centers. However, women often score higher on measures of patience, social sensitivity, relationship development, and communication. These are the skills that managers of the future will need to manage a diverse and empowered workforce. The path goal leadership theory is based on the expectancy theory of motivation. Expectancy theory states that whether a person will be motivated depends on two things: whether the person believes that he or she can accomplish the task, and his or her desire to do so. According to Robert J. House, leaders should increase the personal rewards subordinates receive for attaining goals and make the path to these goals easier to follow by clarifying them and removing roadblocks to their attainment. The leader's style will depend on the situation, so leaders must be flexible. While leaders may have one prevailing style, participative or autocratic, leader-member exchange theory LMX asserts that they may use different styles with different members of the same work group. This theory suggests that leaders divide subordinates into an in-group and an out-group. The leader's decision is often made with very little real information, although leader-member similarities can be enough. The quality of leader-member exchanges was found to be positively related to a leader's perception of two things: similarity of leader-follower attitudes and follower extroversion. Such findings suggest two practical implications. Since in-group members can be expected to perform better than out-group members, leaders should strive to make the in-group more inclusive. Followers should see the importance of being more outgoing, of being in the in-group, and of emphasizing what they share with their supervisors rather than the ways in which they differ. Fred Fiedler developed the least preferred coworker LPC scale to determine a person's basic leadership orientation, either relationship-oriented or task-oriented. Fiedler believed that he could use the LPC scale to determine the basic leadership style of a person who is responding to the scale. For example, if the LPC is described in positive terms, then the respondent is relationship-oriented. If, on the other hand, the LPC is described in unfavorable terms, then the respondent is task-oriented. According to this model, three variables control leadership effectiveness. Leader-member relations are determined by the degree of trust, confidence, and respect that subordinates have for their leader. Task structure reflects the degree to which subordinates' job assignments are structured. Position power is based on the influence that a leader has over variables such as hiring, firing, discipline, promotions, or salary increases. The next step is to evaluate the situation in terms of the three variables. Leader-member relations are either good or poor, task structure is either high or low, position power is either strong or weak. There are potentially 8 different leadership situations. Fiedler concluded that task-oriented leaders perform best in situations that are favorable or unfavorable. A moderately favorable situation is best suited to a relationship-oriented leader. So, if leader's style is not appropriate to a situation, either the situation has to be modified to fit the leader, or the leader has to be replaced. Other behavioral scientists have identified 4 leadership styles that can be used according to the situation at hand. The delegating leader lets the members of the group decide what to do themselves. Delegating works best where followers are willing to do the job and know how to go about doing it. The participating leader asks the members of the group what to do but makes the final decision himself or herself. Participating works best when followers are able to do the job but require emotional support. The selling leader makes the decision himself or herself, but explains the reasons. Selling works best where followers are neither willing nor able to do the job. The telling leader makes the decision himself or herself, then tells the group what to do. Telling works best where followers are willing to do the job, but do not know how to do it. Leadership experts Victor Vroom, Arthur Jago, and Philip Yadin developed a model that lets a leader analyze a situation and decide whether it is right for participation. Because being participative is usually not an either/or decision, they developed a continuum of 5 possible management decision styles. Style I, no participation. Using information available at the time, the manager solves the problem and makes the decision himself or herself. Style I, minimum participation. The manager obtains information from subordinates, then makes the decision. Subordinates may or may not be told about the problem itself. They do not generate or evaluate alternatives. Style 3, more participation. The manager shares the problem with relevant subordinates individually to obtain their ideas and suggestions. Then he or she makes a decision which may or may not reflect their influence. Style IV, still more participation. The manager shares the problem with subordinates as a group to obtain their ideas and suggestions. Then he or she makes a decision which may or may not reflect their influence. Style V, total participation. The manager shares the problem with subordinates as a group. Together the manager and the subordinates generate and evaluate alternatives and attempt to reach agreement consensus on a solution. The role of the manager is much like that of a chairperson. Rather than attempting to influence the group to accept his or her solution, the manager is willing to accept and implement any solution that is supported by the entire group. Thinking like a leader means doing 3 things. 1. Identifying what is happening and why, then taking action. 2. Using behavioral science theories to solve problems and manage change. And 3. Planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. You can develop your judgment by increasing your knowledge, eliminating bias from your thinking, being creative and intuitive, accepting that all decisions are not final, and making sure that timing is right. You can build other leadership traits by developing self-confidence and improving your business knowledge. Build your power base by enhancing your authority and power. Share your vision with others to ensure that your subordinates understand the vision, mission, or objective, and their assignments. Because no one leadership style will be appropriate in all situations, you must be able to adapt your style to the circumstances which confront you. Besides performing the 4 basic management functions, you can use other management skills to help you lead. For instance, choosing the right followers and organizing tasks properly can reduce the need for leadership